The Queensland Government released a master plan to maximise the economic and cultural value of Great Keppel Island. Some argue the plan aims, by stealth, to rename the island to its Indigenous name of Woppa. Joining me live is One Nation advisor James Ashby. James, good to see you there. Lovely day that you got behind you. So what's your reaction to this?
Well, it's something that locals brought to my attention, and they are not impressed. As we've seen here in Queensland, we've had Fraser Island renamed just last year to K'gari without proper consultation of the public. And here locals around Livingston and central Queensland, they're worried the same thing is going to happen to Great Keppel Island, which has been a household staple name since First Fleet settled here, to be quite frank. The island group was named after James Cook and one of his admirals who were sailing with him at the time. So the Keppel group got their name. And so it's been synonymous with generation after generation of people here, and they don't want to see it change to Woppa.
Yeah, certainly important history there, but I've been looking into it, and the Woppa ancestors were the first Aboriginal inhabitants of what we now know as the Keppel Islands. They were seafaring people living off the island environment and surrounding oceans. They had their own language. There's been extensive excavations, some 5,000 years old. I mean, that's some really cool history there. Don't you think it'd be great to kind of recognise and celebrate that history?
You're right, Kenny. There were 80 original Aboriginals on the island or thereabouts, and certainly they had their own language. And yes, there is a history there. No one denies that. Those people left the island. In fact, they were removed in 1901, and the history has seen the island flourish as a tourism destination since World War II. No one denies the fact that Aboriginals were here prior to white settlement, but I think at this point there's only about 300 descendants living today here in Australia that come from the Woppa mob, and very few of them actually live here. So, you know, we are making massive changes despite the fact that Australians voted no at the Voice to Parliament. We don't want division across this country. We certainly don't want it here in our community of Livingston. We don't want it in Queensland. I think for many of us, we've grown up around towns that have kept their Aboriginal names. The town that I'm here in, Yeppoon, is an Aboriginal name. We've all grown up with it. We know it. We're not about to go and change it. And so a lot of Australians, particularly Queenslanders, and those within this area, certainly don't want to see Great Keppel Island named to Woppa. A lot of people, quite honestly, they look at it, and when I took to the streets yesterday to speak to people about it on a one-on-one local level, they said, what are we doing renaming it to a Hungry Jack's burger? And that's sadly what our tourism industry will become here, a joke, if we go ahead under the Labor state government and rename it to Woppa.
Well, I mean, they're not naming it after a Hungry Jack's burger, but the state government plans to completely revitalise the island and breathe new life into it. We'll all be able to visit when it's done. And from what I'm reading, there seems to be a lot of positivity out there about the future of the island, and they're not going to stop us from going there. They're trying to attract us there, it seems. It seems a bit negative. You know, there's a lot of great things that are going on there too.
There sure are. There's some fantastic businesses that have weathered the storm, so to speak, over the last 20 years. Of course, we had the main resort closed down. There's still a wonderful number of resorts and small family-owned businesses that operate on the island. Unfortunately, the state government have allowed the majority of the island to be run down. There needs to be some significant investment in this region, particularly into Great Keppel Island. Some of the suggestions that locals have put forward to me, they'd love a permanent ranger station on the island so that works can be done to beautify it. We've got cyclone damage from back in 2013 when Marsha came through that hasn't been repaired by the state government. Those things need fixing. And a master plan, sure, let's see a revitalisation of Great Keppel Island, but let's not start by naming it something completely different. That's not on the cards. Kenny, I've got a petition which is out there already this morning. We only launched this today, but the petition's got over 3,000 signatures already this morning, and I'd encourage anyone who wants to sign that to get onto the One Nation Facebook page or mine personally and sign away, because we need to send a clear message to people in government at all levels, federal and state. This change isn't welcome.
OK. James Ashby, thanks for coming on the program. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kenny.